Hello there, Tunde here. Today, let's talk about the AFCON. So I was scrolling to Facebook the other day and I saw a quote from the Egyptian national team's coach, the men's team's coach, where he was expressing his displeasure at CAF's proposal to turn the AFCON tournament from a biennial cycle to a 4-year cycle from the 2028 tournament. And he quoted many reasons as to why he was not impressed or too happy with that plan to change the cycle of the tournament from 2 years to every 4 years. He mentioned things along the lines that CAF is just copying Europe, Africa will lose its identity. You know, he made some reasons why he was displeased with that plan to change the cycle of the African Cup of Nations. And from looking at CAF's website and the information out there, the intention is for this 4-year cycle to kick in from 2028 and from after the 2028 tournament. So after the conclusion of the 2028 tournament, the plan is the next tournament will be 4 years later in 2032. And when I saw this, I was like, well, I looked at the reasons the coach was giving, and I also did some research as to reasons other people were giving along the same lines. One, AFCON will lose its identity. We're just copying Europe. You know, some excuses that when I looked at it critically did not hold weight. So today my intention is to at least give you, I have seven reasons why I think moving to a 4-year cycle is the best thing for AFCON moving forward. CAF has made a good decision, and I think it's long overdue switching this tournament to a 4-year cycle. And I'll give you 7 reasons why I think this is a good move by CAF. Just so for information out there, we've just concluded the 2025 AFCON, which Morocco hosted outstandingly, barring the shenanigans that happened in the final between Senegal and Morocco. I think that tournament was an example of what AFCON tournament should be like moving forward. Of course, if you just strike out the events of the final, but every other thing, I think Morocco set the bar high. They gave a good example of how AFCON tournament should be hosted. So kudos to them. That was a fantastic and a brilliant tournament. And in my opinion, I think the best team in the tournament won. So my point I was trying to say, so now, between now and 2028, when the last biennial, I don't even know if it's biennial cycle these days or even every year, because now we have a tournament in 2027, there's another tournament in 2028. I'm surprised. Is it annual? And which takes me to my first point of why I think moving to a 4-year cycle is the best thing for African football. One, let's look at the most important ingredients and the most important people for this. The players. I can only imagine as a player the amount of fatigue and tiredness you have to cope with. CAF involves qualification. You have to play qualifications. And if you know how these qualifications are, sometimes you go to some of the countries you play against, their facilities, our logistics arrangement and all of that, it takes a toll on the body. It takes a huge toll on the body. And these players have to do this almost every year. If you throw in the mix the World Cup qualifiers again, can you imagine the amount of stress? A lot of them are already going through a very hectic schedule, playing their leagues in top leagues across Europe, and you still having, they fly down from Europe, come down, then imagine from, let's say, someone like Mo Salah, you come down from Liverpool all the way to Egypt, then Egypt you're going down to Rwanda, and sometimes you go Rwanda, then you go you go maybe Congo, the logistical infrastructure in terms of air transport infrastructure in Africa is not the smoothest, I would say. So you do that on an annual basis, and you turn around, you go back to Europe. So, just imagine the toll this is taking on their body physically and mentally as well. Like, you go you just finish a tournament before you know you're playing qualifiers, which is going to happen now for the 2027 tournament. And again for 2028, I'm confused. Like I said, I don't know if it's 1 year, if it's every 2 years. It's confusing. So to me, it doesn't make sense. I think if we want to preserve our players' welfare, we're looking out for our players. I think it's important to spread it out. Give it time. Let them have time to recover. And doing that, and so that's in terms of their physical impact. Then in terms of a commercial impact on the players, I don't know if anyone's noticed, if you are not the talent of Salah, Mane, Hakimi, top European clubs aren't really keen on signing African players, especially African players that play for African countries. Take a look at Arsenal, for example. Arsenal has a lot of African players, but they are the ones that play for European countries. Most of the Niger boys in Arsenal actually play for England. Hence why Arsenal is signing them. But I've not seen Arsenal sign an African player play for Africa in a long time. And I won't be surprised it's linked to that, to the CAF tournament. One, the fact that every 2 years in January, when it's a peak time for the season, they know they're going to lose these players once every 2 years, and you don't know the state they're going to come back in. So I can't blame on the top European clubs for saying, you know what, this is too much of a risk, except they have an exceptional talent, like I've said, like the likes of Mane, Salah, and co. The people are not taking that risk. So it's having a commercial impact on our players in terms of their sellability to top European clubs. Top European clubs is impacting them. So I think, for me, in my opinion, beyond going to the 4-year cycle for the AFCON tournament, I think also align it with the June-July calendar. June-July calendar, you can say, yes, we're copying Europe, but we're in a global world now. We're in a global world. So in terms of player quality, it's impacting it's taking a physical toll on their bodies, physical and mental tolls, if I might add. Then it's also impacting them commercially. Commercially, they're not getting the kind of transfers to European clubs that they ought to because of the AFCON happening every 2 years, and the time it happens again in January. So I think switching to a 4-year based on this one first point is very important. And also I'll go a step further. Move it down to June, July. Let it happen there. If we need to, if African countries, you have 4 years now. A lot of people will say, oh, the climate in Africa, it rains a lot in June, July. Yes, we know, but that's where innovation should come in. That's where we should improve our infrastructure, our stadium infrastructure. Is either these days you can put roof over a stadium, you can have a well robust drainage system for your pitches, and you can work with what do they call the climate experts to tell you when it's going to rain, all of that, so you can plan appropriately. Please, let's stop making excuses. This is 2026, for goodness sakes. And the world is a global village. You have to adapt or you die. Adapt or die. And I think with the impact it's having on Africa commercially, I think it's time we adapt. If not, you can see we're dying. So that's my first point. Player welfare, better quality. You have players, if you switch to a 4-year tournament, you see players coming fresh. They're coming fresh. They are coming from top clubs. Everyone's happy to let them go. It's the summer tournament. You have an amazing time. More people can even, let me not go to another point, but yes, in terms of impact on players, you can see that the 4-year tournament will have a better positive impact on players. My next point is a better quality tournament. And to me, this is a no-brainer. I don't know why some people are against it. If you have 2 years to plan and prepare for an event, or 4 years, which one gives you better and ample time to prepare? Put into the mix the financial situation of many African countries. I'll give you an example. Cote d'Ivoire, before they hosted in 2024, 2023, was it the one they won? They've had to pull out last minute from hosting the AFCON. They had to pull out last minute because of they were incapable of hosting it, financial difficulties. I assume if they had 4 years, they'll be able to meet up because, of course, subsequently they hosted the tournament. So I think giving 4 years gives countries ample time to plan and prepare for. This is a prestigious tournament, for goodness sakes. It's a prestigious tournament, and I don't see the argument that going to a 4-year cycle will impact the quality of the tournament. Doesn't make any sense to me. 4-year cycle has not impacted the World Cup. 4-year cycle has not impacted the Euros. 4-year cycle has not impacted the CONCACAF. I'm talking of the Southern American, their own version of the Nations Cup. So why do we think sticking to a 2-year cycle, how much impact has it even had? To start with, how much impact has it had? We've been playing 2 years since God knows when. How much impact has it had? Not so much. I believe that switching to a 4-year cycle will make the tournament even more prestigious, because teams will now know 4 years, you have that title for 4 years, you had to wait for it to win it. It means so much more. And with my earlier point about player welfare, in terms of them coming in refreshed, you have players in their best forms. You have players in their best forms refreshed, having waited 4 years, keen to express it, because now you're not, in the next 2 years now, somebody's going to probably win that cup from Senegal. It doesn't really hold much weight. But if you had to wait 4 years, the thirst from nations, from players to hold, and knowing that they will keep that cup for 4 years, I think we're going to see a better quality tournament. Like I said, one, the host nations will have, host nations CAF will have enough time to prepare. We'll have enough time to prepare for two more years to prepare, additional years to prepare, put the infrastructure, which is something that is lacking in African football at the moment, infrastructure. So if you need more time to build better quality stadia, get things like, I was surprised in this tournament that, I think a game Nigeria played against, was it Algeria, and there was no goal line technology. Imagine things like this. But having more time, or maybe if you need more time to acquire funds to incorporate that infrastructure, then you do it. 4 years gives you that time. 4 years gives you that time. Different things, logistics. With Africa, logistics is a big problem. Some stadiums you want to build in some places, maybe there's no access, roads, train, whatever. But with 4 years, at least that gives you more time to plan, prepare, and get the right things in place to host this level of tournament. So I think, one, the players will come in more prepared, which will, of course, have a better impact on the quality of the tournament. The host countries will have time. CAF as well will have time, because CAF, the AFCON is not the only tournament they have. They have the WAFCON, they have under 17, under 20, and so they have the hands in many other things. Giving them 4 years, not every 2 years. Before you close your eyes, it's 2 years. Say, oh, AFCON again, But if you have 4 years, at least you have time to breathe, do other things, get things right, get things in place to host this level of quality of tournament. So yeah, I think my second point is better quality tournament. If you switch to 4 years, absolutely better quality tournament. My third point is alignment with global calendar. We need to align all those. Yes, there are some things you need to hold. Like, this is Africa, this is how we do it. Yet in the style of football we play, yes, we can hold that. But this is a global village. This is a global village, people. This is a global village. We need to align with that calendar. The point I made in the first point, where players are not being, they don't have their commercial values reducing. Top European clubs are not buying them, except at the talent of Salah and co. That is because of the frequency of the African Cup of Nations. We're in a global village. We need to align with that global calendar, which is why I said, even we need to go beyond just the 4 year cycle. We need to also host it in June, July. We need to host it in June, July, so that we are not clashing with the clubs. There's a reason. And if we need to make the switch, just like FIFA had to do with the World Cup in Qatar, then it's for a situation where we know the climate conditions are absolute. There's nothing we can do. They'll be unbearable in that time of the year. There's nothing we can physically do, technological wise, to improve the environmental conditions. Then yes, you can make a switch to a different time, and you give people ample notice. Like when that switch was being made into December for Qatar to hold the World Cup in December, I remember the whole world had at least 2 year notice, so that clubs and leagues can plan the arrangement of their leagues that year, that season, and they had time. So it's not all Africa that June and July has bad weather. It's only some parts of Africa. And if a country is hosting that, June or July is untenable, then we'll make appropriate changes and inform the clubs and the whole world on time, so that people can make appropriate plans. I think we need to, one, switch to align with the global calendar by switching to a 4-year and going further down, going to June and July. And where we need to move away from June and July, the odd ones, we'll do that. But that does not mean we also need to think, employ innovation. That's what the point I made earlier. If you need to put a roof over a stadium, it's mostly I hear people saying rain, yeah. So if you need to put a roof over a stadium, do that. If you need to improve your pitch quality to have better drains so that when it rains, it evacuates as quick as possible, then do that. But let's make sure that it is completely untenable before we say, oh, June and July is a no-go. We need to align with the global calendar if we are to reap the maximum profits. Another point is if we align with global calendar, a lot of people would love to come and watch AFCON, but in January, where everybody's new year, new me, focus on work, they will take a holiday down. But if it's in June or July, imagine if somewhere like Tanzania, Namibia is hosting the AFCON, places that are, touristy. A lot of people from all over the world will travel, come and experience beautiful football, but also come and experience the beauty in those countries. June and July, everybody knows is prime summertime. June, July, August, that time. Host it then. Get ripped. We need to start thinking, apart from globally, also where we can take out the maximum commercial potential of AFCON. This is our top football tournament in Africa. This is our top football tournament in Africa. So we have no choice. We need to start thinking strategically and remove emotions out of it. People saying, oh, 2 years is keeping AFCON identity. Come on. How? Your identity is in the type of football you play. Your identity is in what people gain when they come to watch your tournament. Is in what they achieve when they come to, they feel in the vibe when they come to watch your tournament. But if you're hosting every 2 years and many countries can't keep up with that, the quality of tournament you put out will be low and people won't have a good experience. So no, I think this point I was making in terms of alignment to global calendar is paramount in this day and age. It's paramount. It will have a positive impact on our players, positive impact on the tournament, positive impact on host countries. The rewards will be, uncountable to say the least. My fourth point is closely linked to this other one, alignment to global calendar. Yes, we need to align. But like I mentioned when I was talking about that point, it will increase the commercial opportunities going to a 4-year cycle. The 4-year cycle will increase the commercial opportunities available to Africa, to the AFCON. Because now with the tournament happening in 4 years, it carries more prestige. There's more attached to it. The players see it as more important. The fans see it as that. And the host countries have more time to plan, prepare, get as much sponsors in, even CAF, as much sponsors, which improves the commercial value of the tournament. You have time to strike better TV deals. You have time to strike much important sponsorship deals for the tournament. And because it's 4 years, if something is too frequent, it loses its value. It's as simple as that. But if we switch it down to 4 years, increase that distance between that time, then of course, it increases the commercial value of the tournament. I think this point is really straightforward, and I don't need to flog it. The commercial value, once this tournament is switched to a 4-year cycle, will be off the roof. It will be off the roof, definitely. Like I mentioned, you have, especially it goes 4 years, then it goes to that June, July, August timing where most of the country are usually away on their summer break. Then of course, the sky will be the limit. Now to my fifth point, stronger national team identity. When you move to a 4-year cycle, the teams, because the tournament is now more prestigious, you have more teams looking forward to it. You have the fans anticipating it. And of course, the tournament is more prestigious. What you have to wait for longer before you participate, before you can win, of course, holds more value. People will be more attached to their national team. There will be stronger national team identity as a result of that. Because people are like, my team this year, 4 years, players having to wait more. It's just like the World Cup. Look at the World Cup, like Nigeria, we've missed out in the last 2 for 8 years. Each of those 4 years we had to wait. You know how much the thirst was for. You know how much prestige it holds. But if you miss out the AFCON, at the 2 years time. In another 2 years now, try. It doesn't hold much weight. It doesn't hold much weight. It doesn't carry much value. You then, as a result, you're not carrying your national team on your head like that. But when you have to wait 4 years, let me express my Nigeria self. You go carry weight. You go weight. So definitely, the stronger national team identity will be increased once you go to switch to a 4-year cycle is done. You'll just see it will happen naturally. And now to the 6th point. For the 6th point, a lot of African countries is to reduce the fatigue on African countries. We know the state of affairs financially for many of our African countries. Many of them struggle with a lot of financial responsibilities attached with running a national football team. So when they have to do it almost every year, qualifications, then when you qualify, you have to sort out logistics, hotel, player welfare, accompanying staff welfare. Many of them struggle with this. We are developing nations, and there's a lot of priorities in countries. There's health, there's education, there's infrastructure, and each country has its own. So sports sometimes is not given the top priority, so they have to struggle for every ounce of dollar or currency they get. So switching to a 4-year cycle, of course, reduces the impact of this. You unburden them, you make it lighter, then they're able to, because don't forget, for every country, it's not just the AFCON. There's World Cup, under 17, under 20, under 20, under 23, Olympics, both male and female. So switching to a 4-year cycle would definitely lower this burden on African nations, African countries, give them also more time to prepare, and it doesn't take a toll on them. So definitely this as well, I think, is a no-brainer. Like switching to, and then which leads to the point I made earlier: improve quality of the tournament. The countries, everyone has more time to prepare, give you the best, that they can. Now for my 7th point is there's a path for career youth development. As a result of switching to the 4-year cycle, you're able to focus on other youth development programs like the under 17, the under 20. Because if the AFCON is every 2 years, before you can sleep and wake up, you're focused on qualifying for the next AFCON. You don't pay as much attention as you should to youth tournaments, to youth development. But switching to the 4-year cycles give people time to breathe. Okay, breathe. We can take this year to look at the youth development programs, youth tournaments, plan for that as well, which gives those youth ample time to develop and grow. And then once you give them that path, of course, when you're able to develop them well, they might be the players in the next 4 years that they are now, for want of a better word, ripe to go into the 4-year AFCON tournament and deliver. But if everything is rush, you're not delivering a quality development program for the youth, and you're just losing both ways. Like, to me, there should have been, when a decision or whenever it was made that the rationale for adopting a 2-year cycle for AFCON tournament, there should have been a time to say, you know what, everyone's doing 4 years. We want to do 2 years. We think 2 years will achieve this outcome. When are we going to measure to see that it has achieved this outcome? And if it did not, we then revert to the 4-year cycle and align with the world. I don't know if maybe if there's a document within CAF, if CAF is seeing this, is there a document? How long was it now? Are you guys going to wait till 2028? Or what were the outcomes we're looking to change? Of what I've read online and research, I think they said, it will improve the development of African football. It clearly has not. It's not. The 2-year cycle has not. And I think the 4 years, if we had adopted the 4-year cycle long ago, it would have. But I think it's a welcome development, better late than never. But those people who are against it saying, let's stick to our 2-year cycle, we're losing our African identity. Please, those excuses do not hold weight. They do not hold any weight. Please, let's stop that. Let's stick with a 4 years. Let's switch rather to a 4-year cycle, which with the 7 points I've enumerated will be way better for our tournament. It will give us a very prestigious tournament. It give our players who hold the value. The tournament will hold more value. Our players will come in refreshed. We will have more increased commercial value for both players and the tournament. Give teams, host countries, time to plan and prepare. Give the whole CAF as well time to plan and prepare. Participating nations ample time leading to a better improved quality. All of the points I mentioned, the countries are not financially burdened by the quick turnaround to participate and engage in qualifications and all of that. Please, I think it's a no-brainer. And like I said, I'll go even further. Align it to the July, June, August time. Let it happen then. And if there, of course, Africa is a very big continent, and there's some parts of the continent where where it will be hosted, and it will be untenable to host it in that time. But we'll switch accordingly. But let it be that the status quo is to host in June, July, August, align with the global calendar, and let's get this ball rolling. Let's show the world what Africa is truly about. Let's give the world a truly remarkable tournament. Let's go and do great things, let's go and do great things. So yes, happy with this move, and long may I hope it comes true to fruition, and I hope it delivers what I think it would. So thank you. I would love to see people's comments in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts on this. If you disagree, please enumerate your reasons. Give me. Let's see concrete reasons why. Let's debate. Although I think most people, I want to believe most people will agree that this switch is long in the making and is long overdue. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you, and look forward to catching up with you on the next one. Bye.